Nestled in the High Weald area of outstanding natural beauty in mid-Kent lies Water Lane, where, behind these beautiful Victorian walls, awaits a gardener's paradise. At its creation in the 19th century, it was considered one of the best-kept gardens in the country, home to produce never seen before in Kent. Today, Julia, originally from Poland, is part of the gardening team who've spent years restoring the wonder of its borders and beds.
My favorite things to pick are probably raspberries, because if in case one of them will break in your hand, you can always help yourself to a cheeky snack. And when they're ready, they should come off the stalk quite easily. So if you give them a little tug, and if they're not coming, that means they're not ready yet, and you can come back in a couple of days and pick them again.
Water Lane is a walled garden with on-site restaurant. It's filled to the brim with some of the county's finest produce.
So we're just doing some picking. In the morning, our first step is to speak to the chefs, ask them what they need from the garden. They tend to give us a list, so for example, a tray of leaves, 10 sweet corns, 15 beetroots.
The fruits, vegetables and flowers travel just yards to the chefs preparing the daily menu. And today, it's Julia's job to harvest the day's ingredients.
The sweet corn is looking really great this year. We're very happy with it. It's probably twice the size we had last year. So clearly we did something right. That will go into the kitchen and they will be making chowder with it. So picking some beetroot, really nice actually. Some of the beetroots are used in the puree, which goes with the fish.
Everything in the garden is grown organically and planted using a no-dig approach. Rather than pulling out weeds, a natural compost is just added on top.
These are nasturtiums. The great idea about the nasturtiums is that you can eat every single plant of the plant. So you have the leaves, which we add to our salads, and they have really lovely and peppery flavor. You can eat the flowers as well. The chefs, they would come and pick them just before service because they wilt really quickly. But yeah, you can just literally have the whole flower and really nice and fresh. And then the kick comes. So you have the peppery kind of kick on the back of your throat. I do enjoy my job. It's really rewarding and it's very calm, and I really like being close to nature, and I enjoy being in a countryside and so close to everything.
The beds and borders here in the walled garden were first cultivated back in 1908 by Charles Gunter, better known as the inventor of the OXO cube.
If we were looking back to the 1920s, I think this would have been like a little mini factory. There'd have been gardeners running all over the place. Kent is known as the Garden of England, and for very good reason. Just look around us today and you'll see how well the plants grow and what we're able to produce from this area.
Ian James took over Water Lane back in 2020 after it had fallen into complete disrepair.
Walled gardens provide two main functions: to keep out animals, pests, vermin, but also to create a microclimate within the walls themselves. So on a day like today, it's probably 1 to 2 degrees warmer than it is outside. What that allows us to do is grow a range of fruit and vegetables, and particularly fruits.
A huge element of the garden's success is, of course, the Victorian hothouses, built to grow the more exotic varieties of fruit and veg.
This is our cucumber house. It's one of the 13 glass houses we have here at Water Lane. And that's our main growing space where we have our tomatoes, aubergines, chilies, and cucumbers. We just had a massive pick of tomatoes yesterday, but I can see there are a few more which are ready to be picked today. So this variety is pink flamingo striped. They're actually really tasty. Between us and the kitchen, we voted them the best tasting tomato. And here we have our favorite beefsteak tomato, and when they grow, one tomato can be 1 kilogram. Really lovely, great for roasting.
With basket brimming, it's straight to the kitchen.
So here's the produce.
Oh, lovely, lovely. What we got?
Beetroot, kohlrabi, sweet corn,
Oh, lovely.
kale.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
I'm making a lovely stew for a fair that we got going on at the weekend, which is a mutton borscht. And I'm using these lovely purple carrots from the garden because they're going to make everything nice and purple like the beetroot, and they're super tasty.
Focusing on seasonal produce, head chef Jed and his team center their dishes around those ingredients found on their doorstep.
That's topped with some crispy leeks. These leeks have been dredged in a gram flour mixed with some mixed spice, fennel, black pepper, cumin, coriander.
That's a really lovely first of our sweet corn that we've picked, which is really exciting. That's going to go in some chowder tomorrow. We definitely try and keep all of our vegetable varieties to stuff that is traditional and heritage. There is obviously some new, fancy, more exotic things, but generally we try and keep things to what would have been grown here at the time. And it's really lovely to be able to use stuff that's literally been picked out of the ground 20 minutes ago. Yeah, it's a privilege.
With customers beginning to arrive for lunchtime service, the Kent-grown produce makes its final journey to the dining room just yards away.